All right, welcome back to their homestead.
Yes. Instead of us being at yours, you're at ours, and we've got all this crazy work happening to make Mama's dream come true.
I'm here with the Provident Preppers to see what they're doing and to see their amazing greenhouse, and you're going to be very excited.
Which is patterned after Nate's greenhouse at the Manti Homestead. Hey, Provident Preppers, I'm Jonathan. We're here with Nate Christensen from Manti Homestead, and we are excited to have you here on this end instead of us being on your end, so that you can look at what we're doing here, maybe give us a few pointers, and tell us about how yours is going. So let's start with that one. Let's start with, how are you doing on your homestead and your greenhouse, and how's that performing?
First of all, it is so exciting to see all of these tubes, like some big spider edifice coming out of the ground. It is deja vu, because it's only been 3.5 years that we were in this process. You probably have questioned yourself, why are we doing this? Your neighbors probably think you're absolutely crazy. Is it a bunker? Is it a bomb shelter? The effort required up front in this Walapini is going to be so worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Because right now, having 3 winters without electricity, ours is performing extremely well. So the efforts you're doing right now are going to benefit you through those long winters and also through those hot summers, and it's worth it. I'm so excited to see this.
This is just hoping to be able to replicate what you've done. Of course, we're not on as big a scale. You're 100 feet or a little more.
Yeah.
We're at 36 feet, but that's what we had room for, and that's what we could afford. So that's where we are, and this is going to be a great place. So we're just hoping that we can do the same thing you're doing.
You know what I like about this, though, is the passive solar technologies are designed. All that this is seeing what rules and laws that God has already provided. And
Exactly.
What we're doing is we're tapping into it. There's some common things that you guys have taken from the Manti Homestead greenhouse. Yeah. But I love these little tweaks that you've done to make it yours. Like, for example, I love the fact that your back wall is going to have stackable water storage.
Yes.
With those IBC totes. I think that is great, because down the road, if you want more or less thermal mass that you're going to have in that water, the fact that you have this large door that you can bring massive amount of storage, stack it up, and you're just going to love that. I think that's a brilliant addition that you've added to your greenhouse. The other thing is, I love how you have it wheelchair accessible.
Yes.
I think that all of us need to think about what we want to do and personalize it. I know that's what the Provident Preppers are doing.
Yeah.
These guys are out there sharing ideas, and they want you to come and look at their videos and learn from some of their principles, but get your own inspiration. How do you take these things and then translate it into your daily life? And you've done that with your greenhouse.
Yes.
And it's super cool for me to see another greenhouse that's similar, but also unique to what we did in Manti.
And we're going to aim for that same goal of not using, we didn't plumb it with gas or electricity because we're not going to need it. That's the beauty of this thing. So many greenhouses that I've looked at in the past are 6-month greenhouses, because you fry it in the summertime and you freeze it in the wintertime. So the best you're doing is extending the season a little bit. But thanks to your inspiration, we're on the path to make that a reality, that no energy except what the sun provides. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and as you look at, again, the infrastructure that is here, because of efforts right now, when we're standing on barrels and dirt and gravel and concrete and insulation and all this headache that is right now, because of everything you're doing right now, it's literally going to be saving you in energy and all that consumption that would be required normally in the future. Yeah. There's so many wonderful greenhouses that maybe aren't meant and don't need to be 4-season greenhouses. But if you want a 4-season off-grid greenhouse, this is how you do it. You just have to slog through right now at this very moment when it's all raw, and you just got to get it right. Okay, Jonathan, right off the bat, something that I noticed is on your earth tubes, I like how you've left a little bit of length.
Yes.
So in mine, on my greenhouse, I have them coming down just, a couple of feet up. And quite frankly, that's just because that's the way it ran with those, with the lengths that I had. But I know we talked about this before, and the idea of extending these up into the greenhouse a little bit more,
yes.
because in that winter sun, The sun changes its pattern in the winter and comes over here. And I'm telling you, that sun is going to hit against this black pipe, and the chimney effect that you already will have is going to be even better. Because see, like on mine, I just opened 2 windows, and because there's already hot air in the greenhouse, that's rising and it's going out and it's creating a vacuum, dragging that air from outside under the ground and into my earth tube. So that's going to happen in yours as well.
Right.
But having this in the sun, when that gets just a little bit of heat, that chimney is going,
accelerates.
Yes, exactly. It's just like when you have a fire and you add air underneath or put a billow or whatever. It's the same thing. That heat is going to be beautiful.
That's part of what makes this all work well, is that airflow. You need to have that moving air, and you did it well in yours, and we're trying to do the same. But yes, we decided we'd raise those up. We'll strap them against that wall and just let that sun accelerate that process for us.
The other thing that, to keep in mind with the earth tubes that I discovered, I kind of figured that would also be so important in the summer. I think it's a little important in the summer, but it's mainly important in the winter. You touched on that, the importance of having that fresh air so you can have that ventilation. It's so crucial to the winter design that you bring in outside air, but outside air that's not freezing cold air. Plants can have fresh air and fresh carbon. It's just such an essential part of this design to make it work in the winter.
The other thing that we copied you on was the cold sinks. I hadn't ever thought about that, but it totally makes sense that you want all that coldest air to just drop down and out. And then it's going to come back up against those walls. It will heat it a little bit and bring it back in and circulate it, so that we kind of do the same thing. We're moving air, and we're taking that cold air and warming it some. I wish we had more room to warm it, but the constraints of geometry and physics don't allow that. But we'll do the best we can, and we'll bring those up that wall as far as we can and let that sun hit those as much as we can as well.
Yeah, well, and you'll notice in ours, literally on the ground floor, so right down here, we have citrus growing. So it's like you have a tangelo tree down here, and you just you're trying to take the coldest, most dense air and to just simply have it drop.
Yeah.
And so I think it's great. And I've noticed how you guys are using metal, and I believe that's probably because of James, who's just a phenomenal individual, is a metal guy. And so I love that you've modified it. You had metal barrels, and so you just decided to do it that way, where I just used plastic and literally, bound them together with some grabber screws. I've seen other cold air drops where people just simply dig a trench. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but you can do what you want. It's just you're trying to get the principles of getting that cold, dense air off of your ground floor somewhere else, so you can have some success with your citrus and the fun varieties of plant growth you have on the main floor.
We are so looking forward to this. It's, like you said, it's a bit of a process up front.
Worth it.
It's going to pay for itself down the road.
Yeah, I can just see Kylene in here. She is going to love it. Yes. I'm going to bring some of my favorite plants and just bring them over to you, and you're going to be in here. And I showed somebody the greenhouse last night. They were blown away because we were out working on my pump house in the freezing cold. It was a young high school kid, and he came in, and it was just warm, and it was humid, and he's seeing, guava and mangoes and avocados, and he was just blown away. And you guys are going to live that and inspire so many people to do great efforts to be more self-sustainable in times of need and crisis. So Jonathan, we've had you over to our greenhouse a few times to show you, and to me, honestly, it is so rewarding. We felt early on when we built this greenhouse, we took a lot of risk because we hadn't seen it done quite this way with this many ideas trying to achieve an off-grid solution. So to see somebody who's put their own effort is actually so rewarding for me. We have 2 vacation rentals in Manti. They're historic rock homes, the Manti Manor and the Manti Cottage. And in November and December, because we're slower, I'm offering people a free tour of my greenhouse, if they stay in those 2 places. And the main reason, again, is some people want to come see it for curiosity. Some people want to go about the efforts and build this. And we love sharing it. We feel like we were inspired and blessed, and we would love to pay that forward to somebody else. So seeing you do this is just really cool.
And I'm not sure what we have that we could offer, But anybody that wants to come and take a tour, we'll show them, because like you and your willingness to share, we want to share too. This is about community. This is about building and helping other people. And I'm sure there's a lot of people like me out there that looked and looked and looked and didn't find what made sense, that felt right. And you've done that with us. You took us under your wing and you showed us what you were doing, and it blessed us, and it started all making sense about how to make it work. And now we just want to help others, and I appreciate that you're doing the same thing. You're just blessing lives, helping other people get there. Now, the question that I want to end with is, are you glad you did this? Has this worked out like you wanted, better, worse?
As a prepper, anytime I can gain any kind of control back into my own life, the scriptural injunction is that we work by the sweat of our brow. And I think that the more we return to the soil, we return to our efforts, by default, we are outsourcing so much to Babylon. We're outsourcing so much to other people who may or may not have our best interests, our nutrition, our sustainability in mind. And so I've never regretted the efforts of any of my preparations, from the greenhouse to the simpler things like a grow bed, drilling a well, having a milk cow, chicken, whatever. If you have things that are in your mind that you're thinking you should do to protect your family, to insulate from a world gone mad, I just recommend you do that, because you'll look back, your Heavenly Father will bless you, and you will never regret taking that control into your own hands with His inspiration. I haven't regretted it for 1 second.
That's the way we feel. This has been a sacrifice for us, but we're seeing more and more that our money and our resources are better spent in hard assets than in a bank or in stocks or wherever. We've decided that that was a sacrifice that we were going to make. We were going to do this, and we're just so happy. We're moving forward full steam.
Right now, what you're doing is you're investing in yourself.
Yeah.
You're investing in your family. You're investing in your own creativity and your own inspiration. And amen. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what, in my opinion, that's what it means, the sweat of your brow. You have been inspired, and you're following that inspiration, and now you're just going to reap the benefits. You're really going to partake of the fruit of your labors. And it might be a tangelo tree right here, and you're going to partake of it, and it's going to be beautiful. I cannot wait for you guys. I'm so excited for you.
Well, thank you. Thanks for being here with us. And now for our audience, the question of the day: what are you doing to be a little more self-reliant today than you were yesterday? Drop it in the comments. Let's have some discussion. Let's talk about all the things that we can do to benefit each other. And thanks for being part of the solution.